أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا إلى يوم الدين وبعد. Inshallah, we will finish the fundamental that we spoke about last week. But today it's all connected, inshallah. So today we're going to take the usul. Usul means principles or foundations, that we have basics that we go, the default of many things in the religion. So each one of them, we're going to give examples so we understand what the default is and how to apply rules based on that. So please be patient with me today. Today is a little complicated, but let's start, inshallah, with some questions first. A person. What did I want to say? A person after Salat al-Isha, he forgot a salah that he missed today. What should he or she do? No. Pray Isha and Ish? Which salah? He doesn't know which salah. Anam. Miss salah, laziness, forgetful, whatever there is, he is lazy. Like أروح ألعب volleyball, like the brothers were playing volleyball today. Not all of them, but mashallah, everybody is here. He doesn't have from today. He know he missed a salah today. Man, I have niyya is important. We're supposed to use. أيوة ممكن to share this and give it back please. يعني share it بس عشان يبقى fresh كده so they could feel fresh. يلا بسم الله. أهلا. Welcome back. It goes back to what? What's the fundamental we have? What's the أصل? اليقين لا يزول بالشك. طيب, now he doesn't have he has the yaqeen that he missed something, but he doesn't have dhann. He doesn't have a what's the word you were into? Doubt. No, we said we're not going to use that. Here it goes, Justin. Pass it, please, for the sake of. أيوة, but what does he do now? Bismillah. أنا أقول الأصل أن يرجع إلى إيش? We need a fundamental. We cannot just say, What prayer yesterday? He knows he prayed salah yesterday. يصلي كل الصلوات. He prays all the salawat for today. He doesn't have a specific salah that he remembers, and now he missed the salah. فعنده عنده شك. صحيح. اليقين, what he's certain he didn't pray. What he's doubting is which salah. So he prays all the salawat بالترتيب. فيصلي الفجر, الظهر, العصر, والمغرب, والعشاء. وضحت هذه؟ مع إنه he missed one of those four, but he doesn't know which four. Just because he doesn't know which four, this is his fault. فيبني على الإيش؟ اليقين. اليقين أنه هو لم يصلي. Certainty is that he didn't pray for sure. That's what he's certain about, yes? So he prays all the salawat for the day. تمام؟ طيب. الأصل إضافة الحدث إلى أقرب أوقاته. This is the first one we're taking today. The default is that you return the incident to the closest timing. The default is to do what? Return the incident to the closest timing. To the closest. Somebody sold you a phone. Fadda, here's my phone. You went home, you found a fault with the phone. There's a problem. Who carries the responsibility? The seller or the buyer? Who? He didn't figure it out till he went home.
The seller give any assurances there, it's going to be good for nothing wrong with it.
هنا نقول الأصل إضافة الحدث إلى أقرب أوقاته. There's 3 cases here. Case number 1, that you find out that this problem is an old problem, an issue with the car, for example, that no way it started today. So you return it back to the seller, لأنه هي الإيه? He had it. It's 1. 2, شرط, that they both build the condition. يقول له مثلا, take this car and you have 1 week to return it. مثلا. خلاص? 1 week to return it if you find anything wrong with it. That could be a condition. Now, if they didn't do any of the 2, they don't know if it's old problem in the car, they don't have a condition. So they return it to the أقرب الوقت. If the default is the seller has to swear that he sold it without a problem and without knowing the problem. وضحت؟ طبعا let's say he knew the problem لكن يقول له والله لا, الseller has to swear. هو اللي يحلف, اليمين على البائع. خلاص, ما هو يحلف, بس he has to swear. لكن the swear هي القرينة. خلاص, هذه هي الايه؟ القرينة. A woman claimed that her husband divorced her during his death time when he was sick. What's the ruling? كيف نحكم لها هذه؟
The certainty is that they were married.
Okay. There's no doubt. She claimed he divorced her. يا قالت طلقني في مرض الموت. He divorced me while he was dying. ليه? Why? Inheritance. So she doesn't inherit. Happens a lot. كيف نحكم؟ ماشي. الأصل إضافة الحدث إلى أقرب أوقاته. That's a good point. Number 1, the judge will say he was sick, so he didn't know what he was doing. This is the first assumption. طيب number 2, لا, قال لك لا والله أنا في وعيه. He knew what he was doing. نقول تلحق بالأقرب. الأقرب اللي هو الإيه؟ Death, مرض, sickness of death. So therefore, because of that, we would assume that he did it because he wanted her to be what? Prevented from inheritance. فيحكم لها بالميراث. The judge will tell her she gets inheritance. طبعا, لأنه if he divorced, and people do that all the time. They divorce, مثلا عنده 2 daughters or 2 children from a different woman. مثلا when he married somebody, before he died, he divorced her, so she doesn't inherit right before death. When he is sick, نقول لا, هذا الحكم لا يحكم به. We'll take the default ruling. Okay? The default ruling. طيب, بسم الله. So we're gonna run through. Okay, which one you wanna do first? You wanna do the papers, or let's take the usul, then we'll come back to the usul. It will be easier for you, inshallah. Bismillah. We'll take each one, inshallah, in the usul. طيب. Number 1. So this is the part we're gonna go one by one, inshallah. We're taking defaults. Okay, al-aslu. Number 1. Al-aslu fi الذمة البراءة. الأصل في الذمة البراءة. The default that a person is not responsible or free of responsibility when it comes to any ruling. If it's related to Allah or even if it's related to other human beings. نقول الأصل البراءة الذمة. يعني إيه؟ يعني هل على الإنسان أن يعبد الله سبحانه وتعالى بكذا؟ لا. براءة الذمة. You're not responsible to do something unless you are. Okay, you guys want more chocolate, more candy to wake you up? I don't know what to give you. What's that? I know today's I brought a lot of stuff, and then I know today's class is a little heavy, but we'll be done. We'll move on to easy stuff. نقول براءة الذمة. براءة الذمة. لماذا؟ يعني مثلا somebody claimed that someone borrowed $10,000 from him and he doesn't have any evidence. Yes, نقول he's free. ليه؟ You guys were supposed to write something. They didn't write something. نقول الأصل براءة الإيه؟ الذمة. You are free, that you are free, the default is you are free. Like accusation. مثلا, if you see someone, okay, the first thing you should assume of a person that he's innocent or he's guilty. Innocent. You know, even the rule says what? Innocent until proven guilty, which is true. Okay? So we don't assume that the person is innocent until proven guilty. Tamam? Somebody borrowed money. I borrowed money from someone, but I don't remember if I borrowed 500 or 700. I'm not sure, but I am certain I borrowed money from that person. So how much should I pay him? I asked him, he said, I don't know, I don't remember. We don't have paper. We didn't write anything down. Huh? Allah يفتح عليك الأعلى. We will say لا تبرأ ذمته إلا بالأعلى. Now you are still responsible, and responsibility is not going to be removed away from you till you pay your debt, which is the highest that you remember. Unless what happened? Huh? Unless the person who lent you said, may Allah forgive you, I'll just take 500. If that's what you really remember, I'm not sure. Or you decide you do an agreement in any form, okay? Otherwise, you have to pay the 700. وضحت هذه? That's opposite from what? The responsibility in the ibadah. خلاص? And we'll get to that inshallah. So that's the first one. Number 2 or number 3. الأصل ما كان على ما كان. الأصل ما كان على ما كان. The default is what was stays as it is. A person doesn't know if he divorced his wife or not. So we say go back to what was before. What was before? Huh? That you're married, you stay married. A person, he knew he divorced his wife, but he doesn't know if he returned her back, if he said something to return her back or he did something. The default is keep what it was as it is. A person got married to someone, okay, with a doubtful contract, or they're not sure of the contract or how they did it. Now they keep it as it is. What's the default? She is haram upon him. So she stays haram upon him till they fix that or they come up with that. ما كان على ما كان. You keep what it is as it is. Are you guys okay with that? It's easy. والله it's easy. It's not very complicated. بس معلش. شيخ محمد حسن أول واحد لازم نركز إحنا معنا. والله I love his name. Subhanallah. It reminds me of, I need you on the camera one day. Because they think I'm saying Muhammad Hassan like the Sheikh is here. Come on, we wish that. Naam.
So they renew the contract again?
Yes. Because the default, what was before. Now, we don't know if I'm married to this woman or not. So, khalas, keep what's doubt here. Go back to what was before. What is the case between you and her before? You both are strangers. You're not married. لو خدت المهر هذه قصة تانية بقى لو خدت لا ما هو if you go back to what it was and she did take the mahar لا she give it back لأنه الآن إحنا نبدأ في الcontract بس if she took the mahar that's a sign of what in your marriage there was something going on لكن تقول لك keep the mahar وبعدين لا تقول لك no I'm not studying قواعد خلاص okay طيب number 4 I'm not going to count numbers but keep the count inshallah number 4 صح الأصل في الأشياء الطهارة والحل. The default in all things that it's pure and halal. The default that everything is pure and halal. Okay, in things, the bag is halal. The belt that you buy is fine unless you prove otherwise. The clothes is okay till you prove otherwise. The fabrics are okay to use otherwise. The default is all things are what? Pure and halal till proven otherwise. Okay. Number 5. The default الأصل في أوامر الشرع بالوجوب إلا لقرينة. The default in the command in the Sharia that it's obligatory unless there is a side or evidence. So anytime you hear a command verb in the Quran or Sunnah, you should consider it as what? Obligatory. Unless proven otherwise. واضح كده? That's the default. الأصل الأصل في الأوامر الشرعية الوجوب. The default in the commands that it's what? واجب. طيب إلا لقرينة, except if you have associative evidence. Anybody know where we get this from? من أين؟ هذه فقه طبعا أنا عارف, لكن من أين؟ في دليل جميل جدا في السواك. Here you go, I give you a hint. You know the siwak, the toothbrush? What's the hadith of the toothbrush? No, but there's no command verb. Thank you. لا, you're correct, but the wording is, because I didn't want it to be obligatory, I would have commanded you. So the ulama took from this that if the Prophet commands something, it's what? It's wajib. That's what they would understand. That's why a lot of people today, when they tell you, Rasulullah says something like, it's a sunnah. Well, no, when you say it's a sunnah, you have to bring what? Evidence. The default rule. Okay? I'm not going to say that example. That's the only one I remember. It's not for sisters. I was going to say growing your beard for some reason. I don't know why. I just saw Justin in front of me. Rasulullah said, let your beard grow. Don't shave your beard. Let it grow. Let it long. Let it stay long. Let it. So he came 7 times, 7 ahadith. So if somebody says growing my beard is a sunnah or wajib, we will say, let's follow this. Al-aslu al-wujub. The default is wajib, unless you bring evidence. Is there evidence? No evidence. You won't find evidence. فكيف as it is, ما فيش evidence. Seriously, there is no evidence. لأنه the 7 ahadith are all command. خلاص? So we cannot say it's a sunnah unless we say what? There is evidence for it. تمام؟ طيب, the opposite is true. الأصل في المناهي التحريم إلا بقرينة. Anytime that the Prophet or Allah forbids something or says don't do it, then it's haram unless you bring associative evidence. Let me give you this default. Maybe it will surprise you guys. I don't know if it surprises you or not. Every forbidden act is haram except, just take it as a default in the fuqaha, except in manners. It's makruh. كل نهي حرام إلا في الآداب. هقول لك أنا. When you use the bathroom, standing up while urinating, not for men mainly, halal or haram? This is very important for you guys. Don't tell me, nowadays airports, I see brothers, mashallah, they line up. Well, the bathroom is right there. They line up standing. That has another problem. We'll talk about it now. Forget the people are there. They're watching. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يستتر من بوله. He wouldn't hide when he's urinating. Okay? But Rasulullah said, do not urinate standing. Then urinating standing is haram. That's the default. Now, urinating, is it part of manners or not? We'll get to the athar, but the legal max first, the ruling first. Is it part of manners or not? Yes. So every forbidden action of manner, it drops down to makruh. Don't eat with your left. Then eating with your left is haram. But we're going to say it's part of manners. So it's in the highest level of makruh, and so on and so forth. وضحت؟ الأخلاق. أي شيء متعلق بالآداب أو بالأخلاق. الآداب العامة، التبول، الأكل، الشرب، هذه من الآداب. واضح؟ لأنهم علمونا احنا صغيرين إنه التبول standing حرام. هذا خطأ. But now, which one is better, to sit or to stand? That's a different story. طيب, what's the problem with standing? طبعا, if you're going to urinate standing, I know we get into fiqh sometime and we let go. You have to make sure there are three things for it to be correct. If you're going to do it anyway, like you're going to do it, خلاص, you decided, you know what? And I'm going to do the makruh. I'm going to do stand. Or at the airport. 3 things you have to be careful of. Number 1, يستتر من بوله, that you have to hide, that no one sees you. So airport, we have problems. That's for sure. خلاص? That's number 1. Number 2, that the najasa, the impurity doesn't reflect back, doesn't shed back at you. Okay? So, very hard. It's very hard. Number 3. نعم؟ ما هو يستبرئ anyway جلس أو قام لابد يستبرئ. ألا ينظر إلى عورته. That a person should not look at his own عورة. Yeah. Yes. I know. Yeah. هذا شرط في الإيش؟ هذا في القيام أولا أصل. أيوة الجلوس لكن يكره لكن هذا أصل في القيام لسبب أيضا له سبب في السنة. Okay, understand that? واضح كده التالي؟ لأنه لا the beard is not as it will be part of the manners if there is associative evidence. لكن الbeard the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم narrated it to the deen. وصلها بالدين فقال خالفوا اليهود خالفوا النصارى. فلم يقل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم مثلا ايه أوفروا اللحى. You know, let your beard grow. If he said let your beard grow and that's it, then it's fine. هيبقى okay. لكن لما قال خالفوا اليهود خالفوا النصارى خالفوا المجوس أخذت النية من الدين. واضح؟ وإن كان فيها خلاف عند بعض العلماء لكن I'm just giving an example for now. Okay. طيب. Number what? 7. الأصل في الأحكام الشرعية التعميم. The default in all rulings in Islam that they are general, meaning for everybody, unless proving otherwise. The Ahnaf don't like that. Why? No Hanafis here? Why? Huh? A lot of time for the scholars of the Ahnaf to escape a ruling out, they say it's only for Rasulullah. يعني مثلا, if you come to a specific ruling and you say, for example, but the Prophet did it, the response back would be what? Yes, we know that the Prophet did it, but this is only for Rasulullah. Understand that? We say, la, hold on, we disagree with you because the fundamental that we agree on, that the ruling, the default of the ruling that Allah revealed upon the Prophet, it's for the Prophet and مثلا, the Prophet ﷺ was allowed to marry how many? As many as he wanted till the ayah came down to keep his wives and not to divorce them. But he married how many? 13 total. 13 total, okay? 11 nisa, 13 total, okay? طيب. Can we marry 13 because the Prophet married 13? لا, نقول هذا خاص بمن؟ بالنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is specifically for Rasulullah, so we agree. يبقى no one is allowed to marry more than 4 women because of the Quran revelation. But the Prophet did it. نقول هذا خاص بالنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So there are things that are specifically for Rasulullah. Yes, مثلا, I'll give you an example. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نهي. He was forbid to eat laying down. Haram. يعني like that. To be on his side and to eat. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم هذا كان حرام. طيب الاتكاء في الأكل. Laying down for us is what? مكروه. لأنها من الإيه؟ من الآداب. And it's only specified to Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم. So a lot of time مثلا there's ruling in the Quran that is specified for men. Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا. A woman cannot come and say, Alhamdulillah, it says آمنوا, I am a woman, not a man, because the word is referring to, لا, نقول, the general ruling is that the rule is what? For everybody, unless specified for men, specified for women, specified. And that's why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ, tell the men, the believing men, to lower their gaze. Okay? Women could have said what? Alhamdulillah doesn't apply to us. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنْ. So now they cannot come and say, no, this rule is only for men, because the other ayah says, tell women to lower their gaze also. So there is rule for them, rule for us. So there is rule for women to wear hijab. Is there? Can she say, well, it's already general for men? لا, لأنه specified for women to do that. Understand that? واضح هذه ولا لا? I think this one is easy.
So why is it so like when they say like for example you don't have to do it the Prophet did? Is it like they're saying it's not wajib or they're saying that
لا, they're not saying it's not wajib. They are saying that the action that you're coming up with the evidence that you're assuming it's wajib or it's not wajib is specified to the Prophet in both cases. Only to the Prophet ﷺ. So if the Prophet ﷺ didn't do something, for example, they will say he was commanded not to do it because he's Rasulullah, but we could do it. Or if he was commanded to do something as Rasulullah, we don't have to do it in both cases. In some cases, of course, not in every. I'm just saying it happens in the fiqh. So sometimes when you see that they're saying it's only specified to the Prophet ﷺ. مثلا, قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يشربن أحدكم قائما. None of you should drink standing. Tell me, drinking standing is what? Makruh, because it's what? Manners. But Rasulullah ﷺ was seen drinking standing. Here the Ahnaf could come up with their evidence and say, forget all the evidence you guys have. We like this one. We will say what? It was only for Rasulullah ﷺ at that specific time. Khalas, rule is out. We tell them, la, to say that you have to bring evidence that it was specified. We have a better evidence to say that Rasulullah he drank Zamzam standing, or he drank during Hajj and it was crowded. So he was standing because of the crowd, not because that he wanted to stand. Here you go. So we have we both have different ways, but we come back to the same result. واضح كده؟ بسم الله. Number whatever. طيب. نعم. الأصل في العبادات التوقيف. The default in worship that it is not allowed. You cannot do any ibadah unless you bring evidence that it's allowed. So here you go. In Davis, we're gonna celebrate. What to celebrate in Davis? مولد? لا, forget the مولد. مثل مولد or لا. Mid of Sha'ban or so mid of Sha'ban, is it ibadah or not ibadah? If we're gonna come together to the masjid to pray 100 rak'ah at night in the mid of Sha'ban, is that ibadah or no? Is that worship? A form of worship, yes or no? Yeah? Okay. We will say the default is what? That you cannot do any ibadah unless you bring evidence that is permissible. So that's opposite from the mu'amalat that we're going to get to it. Now the opposite is true. The default in mu'amalat transaction that it's permissible unless otherwise. What is the mu'amalat? Like what? What are the transactions that is permissible? Buying and selling. Somebody want to do a business in a certain way. Halal or haram? The default is what? Halal, unless proving otherwise. You see, this is the opposite from ibadah. You cannot, مثلا, we're gonna come, I'll tell you Egyptian one. No, it's actually also Afghani, Pakistan. They do the same, mashallah. In Taraweeh, they read between each 2 rak'ah a surah. And at the end, they read قُلْ اللَّهُ أَكْبَرُ وَالْفَلَقُ. Is that part of the ibadah? Is that a ibadah? Yes. We will say we cannot do this ibadah unless what? We have a proof of it. Understand? طيب, me and Muhammad, مثلا, we want to do a contract. Well, okay, how much would you buy this for? Give me a good price, man. $10 مثلا? 3? Okay, $3. $3. ماشي. But I'm going to use it for today's class. Are you okay with that? خلاص. Now, the contract here, nothing in the religion says we have to do that. Even those conditions are not in the deen. Because if he bought it, he should what? He should take it. But we made a different condition between me and him. We say the default is what? It's okay, permissible, no problem. So any transaction in any form, okay, especially in business, it's fine to do. In any contract. So if you're signing a contract for your rent apartment, the default is what? Halal, jaiz. Unless you bring something there is a problem. Like you have to pay $25 when you have a late fee. Is that halal or haram? I know I need everybody to speak. Bismillah. Halal or haram? طيب let me give you three fundamental to memorize. افتكروا هذه القواعد الثلاثة for any contract to make it easy. Just to summarize. Number one. كل عقد اشتمل ربا حالا أو مآلا فهو حرام. Every contract that has interest agreement now or later, it's haram. When you sign a credit card contract, خلاص, do you pay money? You don't. Huh? لا, monthly fees is a different, it could be considered as maintenance work. لا, I'm talking about when he says you have مثلا 2.9%. That 2.9% is agreed upon when? Huh? Not at the contract, no. أيوة. If you use it and you don't pay later on, not now. And even if you use that credit card for 10 years and you make your payment on time, what happens? You never pay it. We will say any contract that has an agreement of interest that is due now or later, it's haram. Even if there's 0.111% that is going to happen. But one day it could happen, it's haram. So when you agree to your rent contract says you're going to pay $25 fee if you are late than the 5th of the month, that's haram. Hold on. Let's take the rule first and then we'll talk about, I know everybody has a problem with that. This is the rule, yeah? But now we have something called necessity, الضرورة. Where am I going to live if I don't sign it? There's no there's no contract that it doesn't have that. And all now, in this case, there is a necessity for that. That's a different ruling. Okay? Necessity removes it right away from being haram to allowed. No problem. Okay? Same thing as a credit card, مثلا. If you are in a necessity or a need of a credit, مثلا, I used to travel before to New York and other places. I go and rent a car. They tell me you cannot with your debit card. You have to have a credit card. Like if I'm going to go get a credit card just to use it for that, I know what I'm going to use it for. Let's say I'm never going to use it except for renting a car. And I'll pay it off right there and somebody will pay it. No problem. The problem is not you use it or you don't use it. The problem is what? The contract. The contract says what? If you are late on payment, then your percentage is 29% or 2.9, whatever that is. So العلماء يقولون, number one, in contracts, to make it a default, to make it easy for yours, كل عقد, every contract, اشتمل على ربا, that has interest, حالا أو مآلا, now or later, it's haram. وضحت هذه ولا لا? You buy a car. Okay, they tell you your first 6 years, no interest. But after 6 years, we'll start charging you 5.9%. You know that you're going to pay the car in 5 years for sure. You did the calculation, you're good. The problem is not you're going to pay it or not. The problem is what? You're signing a contract that the default is what? حرام لأنه القاعدة تقول كل عقد اشتمل على ربا آلا أو محالا فهو حرام. وضحت هذه? Is that clear? That's number one في contract. Number two, كل معاملة, every transaction فيها غش أو خداع أو غرر حرام. Any transaction that has trick in it, like you're tricking someone, okay? Or lying, or al-gharar is, what's the translation of gharar? Huh? Deceiving, yes. الغرر إن هو مثلا أبيع لك شيء فيه عيب غير ظاهر أغرر بيك. تمام؟ So أو مثلا أقول لك أعطيني $1,000 contract, okay, وهنعملها investment Bitcoin. A lot of people they say Bitcoin is haram because of الغرر. ليه؟ لأنه زي الجامبلينج، في غرر، في خديعة. هل yes or no? Even though uncertainty could be a word, لكن هو deceiving is a better word. That's number two, okay? يعني مثلا بيع النجش. حد يعرف ما هو بيع النجش؟ No, the Arab speakers, no? No. عندنا بتحصل كتير أو في المزادات. It happens in auctions a lot. النجش is a certain selling that happens in auctions most of the time, huh? Could be. Or telling someone. Telling someone, listen, you come to the auction, I'm going to sell this for 1,000. You keep saying 1,100. So he says, so a najash is raising the price from a person who doesn't want to buy. That's haram. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تناجشوا. النجش haram. Why? Because you don't want to sell, you don't want to buy the product. You're just there to do what? To raise the price. Okay? Usually not the owner himself. Or the owner saying, Wallahi, somebody wanted to buy this yesterday, $1,000, and I'm going to give it to you for 900. وهو أصلا التليفون cost $500. إخواننا بتوع العربيات سوري because brother Sharif has car dealers, they do that sometimes. صحيح, you go to a dealership, that's what they do. هذا اسمه ايش؟ نجش. يعلي في السعر. يقول yesterday I have somebody who came in to buy this car for 13,000, but you know what? I'm just going to give it to you for 11, but you have to buy it today, or else I'm going to give it to that guy. Who's that guy? There's nobody. ما فيش nobody أصلا came to buy it for هذا. ويحلف and he swears والله هذا حرام. Why? What is he supposed to say? يقول listen, this car is worth 10,000. I'm going to sell it to you for $1 million. Do you like it or not? Business. It's up to him. It's his business. He could raise the price as much as he wants. Up to him. Like to say, Wallahi, somebody wanted to get it. And okay. So in auctions, those people who come in, these people they're committing haram. They're making things haram. So of course they give percentage for it when they come to an auction and they do that. Okay. So that's the second. So number one, what? Let's just talk about the contract. Any contract that has interest now or later. Number two, any contract that has deceiving, lying, and the like. Okay. Number three, كل تجارة فيها غرر أو جهالة. Anything that it's unknown. Now this is a problem. I know some of you. No, the brother is not here. Selling online products that you don't own. Amazon. مش بس Amazon. هو المشكلة when you're selling something that is unknown. You're ignorant of it. You don't know if it's good or bad. You haven't seen it. To make it right, you have to do what first? Own the product, مش buy it. Own it, have it in hand, and then sell it. So if you're doing online transaction as a third party, haram. ليه؟ للجهالة. مثلا عندنا في مصر in Egypt, they sell fish before they fish. هذا حرام. صحيح. يقول لك بيع السمك في الماء. You sell fish in the water. Okay, how are you going to sell me fish in the water? You're like, oh, yeah, 3 pounds of fish. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to fish it or not first. I need to see it. Okay, what if the fish, not the fish I like. I want, I don't know what you guys like. Tilapia, and it came out something else, salmon, or I don't know. I don't even know any fish brand except shrimp. But the Ahnaf don't like shrimp, so there's a problem. Huh? Yeah, no. ما هو ده الجهالة، ما هو ده الغرر، إنك it never comes out the way that you want it. Okay? زي ما هو بيشتري سمك في الماء، هي هذه فيها المشكلة. That's a different story. لو هو اتفق, he says, I will get whatever you fish out, it's mine. هذا no problem. خلاص؟ لكن هو يعيده بسمك معين, you can't, because you can't even control, you can't control the fish. Is that clear? So مثلا, if I see a phone online and I'm selling it to a third party, and I don't see the phone. I don't know if the phone has a problem, if the phone is broken, cracked, anything. So just selling it as a third party. That's why مثلا in houses, why do we say the problem with contract has two things, interest and also not knowing the product itself. The bank has to own the house and then resell it. So owning the product itself is what? يعني مثلا شريف they have a car dealership. I say to Bilal مثلا would you like to buy a car? He will say yes. Okay, then I will tell Sharif to sell it to him. And he gives me the money. He's making the contract with me. That's not going to work because I never own the product itself. I have to be the malik, the ownership. Understand that? Very important. فهذه خلي بالكم منها ماشي في الديار. وبقى صورنا في الآخر بقى. نعم. No problem. That's fine. That's fine. The commission is fine for actions that you are capable of having or seeing. يعني مثلا paperwork. Can we pay somebody money to finish our paperwork مثلا at the DMV? Egyptians love that. In our country, people live on that bribe, rashwa. I'm not talking about rashwa. But I don't have time to go to, like in Egypt, if you want to go get a driver license, it takes you a good 6 months. But you could hire somebody, he knows the in and out of it. He goes, take your paper, you pay him 200. He goes, finish off your paper, he gets your driver license, no problem. Can I do that? Yes. He gets his commission for the work he does with conditions. Number 1, he does it himself. Number 2, he doesn't bribe anybody. You have to make sure you tell him that. Number 3, reasonable for the work. Number 4, he's not working as that job himself. If he's working in that office, getting paid for the job from the government, and I am paying him, that's rashwa. That's how they live on. Okay, but you're getting paid your salary 10,000 a month. Yes, to do what? To get me my driver license. So that's his job. I cannot pay him to do his job. That would be considered what? Rashwa, bribe. طبعا number 5, you don't take the right from somebody else. So you don't pay money for an interview, for example, so you could be hired and not somebody else. So you make sure. Yeah, مثلا, I went to my driver license, I'll tell you, just to make it light because the class today is too heavy. I went to the guy and they told me pay 200, he'll finish it for you. I said, astaghfirullah, a'udhu billah. I was very strict. So he took my folder, literally, okay, and he did this behind him in a cabinet that has like 1 million files. And he said, come next week. So I was so happy. I went home, I said, see, I told you guys, you don't pay bribe, Allah will put barakah. He said, come next week. I went next week. And the guy said, who are you? I said, what do you mean? I give you my file. He's like, if you could go find it, go ahead. So where to find it? I went to the cabinet, wallah, I couldn't find anything. And he was like, then you have to do a new file. And do a new file means you have to go, take pictures, you have to file the paper, you pay money. Oh my God. So I did that second time. Came back after a week. Like, why do you keep coming? I don't know you. Like, your file is somewhere if you could find. So I put 200 pounds in the envelope. I gave it to him. My file was taken to a different cabinet now. Wallah, fancy one. It has a lock. Boom. And he said, come Sunday for the test. I went Sunday, very smooth. Take the file, give it to you. And the others are in line. They're waiting. I didn't take any right from anybody. Like, no, it's my driver, my license. Then it's fine. That's permissible. So commission is okay if you're doing the job or the work. But to make sure if it's including products, selling and buying. And somebody tell you, oh, I know a dealership who has good cars. You take him to Sharif. Now, can I take a commission from Sharif? Yes. Why? Because the selling contract between both of them. But I cannot say, I will get you the product and you pay me and I get from him. Then I have to buy the car from Sharif first and then give it to him. You see the difference now between both? طيب. Now. طيب الحمد لله اللهم see sometime. طيب الأصل في طيب where we the default ماشي. الأصل في العادات الحل. فينك أنت النهارده؟ أهلا وسهلا. تأخر ماشي. الأصل في العادات الحل. Default in customs that it's permissible. Anything that is custom that people are used to it in your country, in your place, as long as it doesn't contradict. So مثلا you guys celebrate what is it? New Year? لا شم النسيم لا في مشاكل. ما هو the default it's okay, but the stuff that happens in it is the problem. You just make sure that the custom doesn't contradict the religion, because custom is a great default. يعني مثلا birthdays, okay, what do you think? Birthdays halal or haram? I said it's halal. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. I didn't say, I'm asking you right now. Birthdays halal or haram? The brother is like, you say it's halal. No, I didn't say anything right now. I'm asking. We are in maximum number 4. We're still in the doubts. Huh? الأصل إيش؟ الأصل الحل. The default is that it's custom. It's a tradition. طيب, how do I differentiate between a custom celebration and a religious celebration? Easy. There is a way you could differentiate easily without even going through a headache. Huh? لا. Because my birthday celebration could be more haram than the Mawlid. How? How do I differentiate if it's worship or not? Yani some people say celebrating birthday is haram. Okay. Jazakumullah khair. Huh? It gets you closer to Allah. I'm celebrating my birthday for myself and my kids. I'm going to bring a cake into the house. The kids are going to eat it. Okay. And then we're going to eat some good mansaf or something. And then we go home happy. We're not getting closer to Allah. We're not doing any ibadah. We don't believe that this celebration is a religion. Nothing. Niyyah in what? Man, that's what I told you. I'm telling you, my intention is what happened right now. Get my kids some cake and eat it together. Have a nice day. For myself and my kids. But I'm doing it in a specific day. شوف, the default is إذا كان الاحتفال, if you have a celebration, that the day itself is chosen for a virtue, then it's not allowed. Am I celebrating my day for a virtue? Like I believe that the 18th of November is a blessed day, مثلا يوم مبارك. لا, I don't believe that. I'm celebrating it because this is the day that this thing happened in it, and I'm getting my kids around me to eat and drink. Is that normal? Yeah, no problem. What's the problem? Why is it haram? But now I am going to celebrate the day of the birth of the Prophet, Al-Mawlid. I know some people are not going to like that, even though it's online, but... Huh? Now, why are you celebrating the Mawlid? Because you believe of a virtue of the day of the birth of the Prophet. So therefore, we will say what? The default is not allowed. So celebrating your birthday is better than celebrating the birth of the Prophet? No, it's not better. They both are different celebration. One that is due to what? A celebration of action, and one that is due to virtues that it turns to ibadah. So mine is a custom, tradition, aada, and Rasulullah's birthday is ibadah. So what did we say? The default in ibadah is what? Huh? Haram. You cannot do any ibadah unless you have evidence. طيب, aada, custom, tradition. In Egypt, مثلا, they announced the day of victory of the October 6th when they defeated Israel or something like that. Do they believe that the 6th of October is a day that is blessed? لا. But why did they celebrate it? لأنه it's easier to get everybody on the same day to be celebrated and give people a day off. So it's okay to celebrate based on this fundamental. طيب, what about the kuffar's a'yad? Celebration of the disbelievers. We're in a fiqh class. I know you guys, some of you are very, mashallah, religious and strict to the deen. Leave that on the side. I'm talking about fiqh right now. Huh? Yes? Of what? It's aada, it's a custom. The default is permissible. To what? I'm not going to do candles or any of that. That's why we're going to talk about the ayat of the kuffar now, because that's connected. Disbeliever celebration is what? If it's religious, then no. Khalas? If it's a tradition that is only specified to them, it's haram. If it's customs or tradition that it became the norm, even in Muslim countries, then it's permissible. I will look again. Let's do it again. Celebrating the kuffar or the disbelievers' a'yad celebration. If it's religious, like what is religious celebration? Christmas. Khalas, close the door. Close the door, it's haram. Close the door. Even if they do, Christmas is a religious celebration, close the door, it's haram. No matter what reason they do it for. Even if they do it because Jesus is the prophet of Allah, not, it's still haram. Khalas? Religious. What else? Religious. Eastern. Halloween. Thanksgiving. Khalas, huh? Hanukkah and all that. Khalas, all these religious celebrations are what? Haram. Khalas, we're going to close that door. Tayyib. Celebrating something that is custom or tradition. The default is what? If it's only specified for them and we imitate them, it's haram. If we are doing it as the norm, it became the norm, then it's permissible. But you have to put few conditions. Number one, celebrating birthday, Bilal said something important. If I'm going to bring a cake with candles, we're going to blow it. Then we're going to do songs and music. We're going to bring our friends. We're going to go to a place. We're going to dance and listen to celebration. Now, celebrating the birthday is haram because of what? Not imitating. Because of? Yes, the actions that are happening during the celebration, not the default of the celebration itself. Understand that? You see the difference now? No. ما ينفعش عادة لأنه المولد عبادة. ما هو you cannot change the عبادة, it's already worship. The Mawlid of the Prophet is religious celebration. Even if you do it as a custom, it's a religion. Why do you do it? Because of the birth of Rasul. خلاص, it's connected to the عبادة. ماشي, if you're going to take a day off to eat, that's not a problem. I'm talking about celebration. Celebration is different. I'm talking about celebration when people do certain actions. Okay? No. I personally believe celebrating birthday, there's no problem. I personally believe there's no issue with it. As long as what? As long as the haram is avoided. Okay? If the haram is not avoided, like mixing, men and women, dancing, music, خلاص, then regardless of what the incident, even if you're in a house doing that, that's still haram, whether it's birthday or not birthday. Understand that? But yeah, like if you could avoid it, why not? Like to speak of fiqh perspective, very hard to say haram. Now, طيب, you're celebrating your marriage anniversary on a specific day because of what? Let's go to the default. Because you believe that this day is blessed, that this day is virtual, that this day carries blessing, or you're celebrating something that happened during that day and it's easier to follow every year. Second one, then it'll be permissible. No. You're mixing between the two things. La. The act of marriage itself as an entire act of worship or not, this is marriage. You're celebrating your marriage. You're not celebrating the blessing of the marriage. That's a different story. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
There was like two celebrations that they didn't do. And he said we don't do that.
That's congregational. That's ibadah, jama'iyya. That's congregational celebration. طيب, New Year's. New Year's will be more of imitating the kuffar than the celebration itself. And what takes place in it is more haram than yes. But birthday is your individual thing. This is not a congregation, so don't mix it with the a'yad. It's not called Eid. Okay? And everyone is different. What's your birthday? 20th. 28. 15. So you'll find different. So we're not all celebrating birthdays on the 10th of the, you know what I mean? If we do that, then it's haram. It becomes Eid for the Muslims. But this is an individual person doing his own celebration of happiness for something that Rasulullah, we could actually have evidence that Rasulullah did celebrate his birthday. He did celebrate it with siyam. So in a sense, he was thanking Allah for the day that he was born. But not once a year, it's every week. Of course, but the default is there. We could actually take a ruling from it. So anyone who says celebrating birthday is haram and close the door, I think they need to be more flexible on the opinion that consider what others are saying too. If you believe it's haram, khalas, don't do it. With the birthday, we shouldn't have opened the birthday.
Celebration.
July 4th. No.
Celebration, like Yom Eid, you don't fast. So the evidence that people would bring that, oh, he's fasting on the one day, would be evidence against him because he fasted that on an Awwal. But then another thing.
So he didn't call it Eid. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not going to call my birthday Eid. So the person who responds to you will say, okay, I'm not going to call it Eid. So your problem is with the name Eid. I'm not going to call it Eid. I'm going to call it Yawmul Milad. I'm not going to call it Eid Milad. I'm going to call it Yawmul Milad. So I remove the problem you have. Fiqh. When you study fiqh, you have to be very clever. Because the person is not going to just surrender to you and say, oh, you actually have a point, mashallah, I'm okay. La, the person might have evidence to respond to you, so you have to be able to respond back on what you say. So saying that the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba did not do it, we will say what? They did not do it as congregation and celebration. I am not doing congregation and celebration. So there is everything that you're going to bring up. I am more sided to preventing celebration when it comes to genre than actually allowing. But when it comes to birthday, for example, for the kids, I was very strict on it. But seriously, when you study fiqh, your mind goes like, it's like, you expand. You're very narrow on knowledge that you have like 1/3 of knowledge. When you have 2/3, you kind of grow. Okay, you have a little more, you grow. You know what I mean? So people who still in the 1/3 of knowledge are doing what? They can't go out. They feel like, let me just stay on the safe side. Stay in the safe zone. So I'm saying to my kids, if you're going to celebrate your birthday, there's rules. For me, for example, the kids up to 10 years old. After 10 years old, khalas, no more celebration. The gifts are too much. You have to go to Target and buy stuff. So I'm telling them, certain age, the way of celebration is what? We're going to get together as a family. We're going to eat some good cake. And then we're going to give you your small gift from Target or somewhere. The kids will be happy. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Have a nice day. Done. What's wrong with that? That's how you're looking at it. And plus, you have evidence that you could make it more flexible. But let me answer people online because July 4th. July 4th would not be a custom or tradition because that is associated to the disbelievers or the kuffar specifically. So we're not supposed to celebrate that. Thanksgiving is June 10th, a day where the remembrance of the freedom of the slave of African Americans. Okay. How about baby shower? Baby shower, I would say replace it with the aqiqah. Because there's a replacement of baby shower. Celebrating the day of the freedom of the slaves, June 10th, is it? Okay. Juneteenth, is that what it's called? I thought June 10th. I was reading it. I thought it was like a typo. Juneteenth. What day is that? Yeah, I would say this is more like a tradition. More like a tradition. So it's permissible to.
Isn't it something that like the kuffar like in America? So that's like a kuffar.
No, but this is not specifically to kuffar. This is a celebration of the freedom of certain people or group. So I would say it's more of a tradition or a custom. So you don't have to celebrate yourself if you're not like I'm not. What do they do in the baby shower? I forget. Gifts and stuff like that. I would say, wallahi, I would say they shower the baby. I would say do the June 19th. Okay, I think it's more tradition. I believe it's more tradition based upon the rule. We want to finish the usul. Yes, no. Thanksgiving is a religious background celebration, and it's more specified to the non-Muslims celebrating a certain, and it's not a norm, like it didn't spread into Muslim countries that it became a norm. Like specifically known Thanksgiving is for a specific religious reason and background, so it's very clear. On Halloween, I don't think you guys need evidence. Halloween is haram. Like, aslan, the idea of the Halloween itself and the shayateen are very scary. Alhamdulillah. Ahlan wa sahlan. Akhuna Adil from Libya. He was here in Davis. حياك الله. طيب, Bismillah. Let's finish off, please, because we have. Oh, okay. Let's finish off because I'm not going to go back to this one. الأصل كل ما صح نفعه صح بيعه. Everything you could benefit from, you could sell, except what the evidence says you can't. وضحت هذا ولا لا? Should I skip it or no? Everything you benefit from, you could sell. Anything that has a benefit, you could sell, except what the evidence says you can't. مثلا, hunted dog, is there a benefit? Yes. Can you sell it? No. Haram to sell dogs. صحيح. Yeah, haram. Yeah, even hunting dogs. Yeah, haram. You should give a gift to the person who owns it or something. It's like selling and buying. Cats, haram. But cats has a benefit. What is the benefit of a cat? It's nice. Come on, man. Yeah, you're ruining the fiqh class now. This is fiqh. Now this is not a sweet talk class. Anyway. What is? Take it from the hadith. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ولا هي تركتها تأكل من خشاش الأرض. The woman who loved the cat, she didn't feed it, she didn't give it water, and she didn't what? She didn't let it eat from the bugs and the rats, and that's what. So she didn't even let it get its food. So they took from that hadith that cats has benefit. So there is a benefit of a cat, especially in a house that has rats. Cat is the big boss, but you cannot sell it because it has a benefit. But Rasulullah said what? Not to. So anything you could benefit, you could sell. طيب. لا اللي فيه دليل بس اللي فيها أدلة. لكن الحصان والجمل وكذا لا. لكن القطط والكلاب كان فيه دليل واضح. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لعن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أو قال مهر البغي وحلوان الكاهن وسعر الكلب. الكاهن اللي هو الماجيشن، الحلوان اللي هو money. The prostitute, when she gets money that's haram or that money is filth. A magician's money is filth. Palm readers, if you go to a palm reader, you know those who are standing in the mall and they tell you, oh, let me read, and you pay them like $5. Even that's haram. Nabi sallam la'an. The Prophet cursed someone giving that money. And the money that comes from selling dogs. So we know that selling dogs is haram. تمام؟ طيب. الأصل في الشروط والمعاملات مباح ما لم يخالف. The default that when it comes to the default that what it comes to نعم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ما هو الدليل على أن القطط حرام بيع القطط حرام النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى عن بيع القطط. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم he forbade in the hadith to sell cats. Where were we? The default in what? الشروط conditions or dealing. طبعا we spoke about conditions. Okay, خلاص. يعني you make a condition that is between you and someone. Any condition you make, as long as it doesn't contradict. يعني يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما بال أقوام يشترطون شروطا ليست في كتاب الله ولا في سنة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ولو اشترطوا 100 شرط. Even if they make the condition 100 times. What was the condition? They told عائشة رضي الله عنها وارضاها أن الولاء للمعتق لأهل المعتق وليس للعاتق. ما هو الولاء؟ ولاء لا عائشة رضي الله عنها وارضاها, she had Barira, she was her slave. She freed her. Barira's family said, الولاء لنا. The inheritance is ours. Rasulullah said, no, the inheritance of a slave is to what? To his master. وضحت؟ يا طيب الأصل في الأطعمة the fundamental in food that it's permissible except with evidence إلا بدليل. That's okay. The Sheikh disagree with that, but he's correct. But يعني he's correct on one part, but then we clear it out. So let's take it one by one, okay? Do we have time? We have 6 minutes, mashallah. الأخ اللي سأل عن القطط، ابن حزم يقول ولا يحل بيع الهر فمن اضطر إليه لأذى الفأر فواجب على من عنده منها فضل حاجته أن يعطيه. يعني هو المسألة مختلف فيها. They say they differ on it. الجمهور إن هو جواز، أهل العلم على حرمة بيعها وبعض العلماء على جواز، لكن الراجح فيها ما ترجح عندي والله أعلم أنه كما قال القرافي يعني إنه بيع باطل يعني، فهذا ما أراه الله. نعم. طيب. Let's take the default in animals first. The default, okay, we're talking about two things right now. We're talking about the animal and we're talking about the food. The animal itself, any animal that lives on the ground or in the water, the default is what? That it's halal unless otherwise. And that's why they differ on giraffe. Can you eat it? Rabbits. Giraffe. Sorry. Rabbits. Can you eat it or not? Sea creatures, there are sea and land creatures. Okay? والراجح والله أعلم أنه يجوز. It's permissible. No? No. No, they're attacks humans. So that has a ruling by itself. Yeah, we'll get to that inshallah. That's why I believe it's permissible. It's fine. The Shafi'i madhab for giraffe, they have a problem with it because of لكن let's just give a default. كل ذي ناب من السباع حرام. Any animal of the beasts that has النبل Justin, the tooth, the sharp tooth, اللي هو the thing. Okay, so any of the animals, the beasts that have, like what, a lion, a tiger, fox, wolf, okay, كل هذا حرام. كل ذي ناب من السباع حرام. Any animal that has those sharp teeth that they attack with it, they're haram to eat. Okay? نعم؟ ملوش السم له حكم آخر. وبعدين له حكمين. كل ذي مخلب من الطير حرام. Every bird that has a claws, okay, that it attacks with it is haram to eat. Like what? Eagle, falcon. But even the pigeons has claws, but they don't attack with it. واضح? Birds, they do have claws, but they don't attack with it. Like it has to be what? That they attack with it. All right? كل نجس حرام. Every animal that is impure is haram to eat. كل طعام فيه سم أو ضرر حرام. Any animal or plants that has poison or harm, it's haram to eat. Like a snake. A snake is haram for two reasons. One, does it have a nab? It has the tooth, the front. 1, 2. It has poison, and it has a third reason. We're going to come to it. What is the third reason? كل ما هو مأمور بقتله. Anything that the Prophet command to kill, it's haram to eat. Like what? Snake, scorpion, dogs. The dogs that has what are they called? اللي هو العقور هذا الكلب العقور. Alligator has its own ruling now. We'll come to alligator. طيب, alligator is haram or halal? Alligator is a sea creature or land creature? Spends most of the time in water. So we're going to consider it as sea creature. But the problem with alligators is what? They attack. Okay, with their teeth, so that's haram. خلاص, they will be considered haram. خلاص. كل مملوك للغير مطعومه حرام. Anything that other people own, it's haram for you to eat. You cannot go to someone is like, mashallah, we had some Egyptian brothers who came from Egypt. They went to the museum in downtown San Francisco and they hunted some ducks from there. Okay, so is it permissible to eat? Well, these ducks are not owned. They're not owned. But if they are owned to individuals, then it's haram for you to eat it because you're taking a right of someone. Like you have your neighbors, they have chicken in the backyard. You cannot hunt their chicken, okay, from your window and say, oh, I got a chicken from my neighbor's head. خلاص? هذا حرام. كل ما نهي عن قتله فحرام أكله. Anything that the Prophet says don't kill, it's haram to eat. What did the Prophet tell us not to kill? Huh? Frogs? السحلية مأمور بال ها؟ Horses? No. Ants, bees, الهدهد اللي هو ايه؟ the hoopoe. Okay. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى عن قتله. نهي النبي عن قتله جعله حرام. The Prophet ﷺ said, so Rasul ﷺ نهى, Rasul ﷺ أمر بقتل. The Prophet ﷺ commanded you to kill some animals. Like what? Snake, scorpion, خلاص كده. So therefore it's haram to eat them. Anything that the Prophet says don't kill, it's also haram to eat. واضح ولا مش واضح؟ يبقى هذا في المأكولات. يبقى احنا عندنا, طيب let's say it again. عندنا كل ذي ناب حرام. Anything that has the teeth were, طيب number 2, anything that has a مخلب, claws. Number 3, anything that is impure, najis, haram to eat. If the animal itself is impure, then it's haram to eat. خلاص? Pigs, donkeys, and so many. تمام? Dogs and so on and so forth. كل طعام اشتمل على سم, any food or any animal that has poison in it, poison animals or poison plants, haram to eat. Anything that others own, haram to eat. Anything you're commanded to kill, haram to eat. Anything that you are commanded not to kill, you're forbidden to kill, it's haram to eat. Is that clear or not clear? Yeah? طيب. صوت الإقامة. طيب خلاص. We wanted to speak about meat very quickly, but هم العلماء ينظرون في أصل الحل وسبب الحل. The scholars speak about the origin, the default in meat, and the origin of slaughter. These two are two separate things. So, بلاش أحسن حتى لا تكون فتنة. صلى الله على نبينا محمد. جزاكم الله خيرا. الحمد لله رب العالمين. I need to check on frogs. I need to check. I'll check for the sister and send you, inshallah. Sharks are classified as beasts? Yes. Sharks are, one second. Sharks are classified as beasts? Yes. Yes. Sharks are, sharp teeth? Yes, 100%. They're haram to eat. They attack.